Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Charlotte Pailin, and welcome back to another installment of the Diner Concert Series right here at the Daiquiri Shop in Carrollton. Now, of course, we have brought you with another dope episode. We told you we'd give you the exclusive interviews, and here today we have a very special guest here by popular demand. He's probably a favorite rapper's favorite rapper at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing fresh from the Rap City Live Dallas feature, Maine. It's the one and only Cush with the C.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll give you a round of applause. Listen, I'll give you a round of applause.
For sure.
Are you doing good?
I'm good. I'm super good.
It's so good to have you here today. Like, what was it like? I said, we mentioned you were on the Rap City Dallas. What was it like being on that platform? Like, what was that like for you?
For sure. Like, I would say I always grew up as like a person that admired rap. Like, even before I ever wrote a rap, I was always just into rap. And so I used to tell people like, dang, I wish I was rapping when they still had like Rap City the Basement. I literally, even on my first album, I even have a bar about it. I say like I always want to spit on Rap City the Basement. So it's crazy that like that opportunity came up. So shout out to Mecca and Credits Don't Die and different entities that are like helping me out right now.
Yeah, I mean, you did your thing and so many people showed you love. It was one bar that I really messed with. It was, I don't want to butcher it, but it was like, you know, you're independent, but you're still a major deal. I was like, hold on. So that was just so dope. And like I said, we're just very, very happy to have you here today.
Nah, for sure. I'm happy to be here. Like, definitely been seeing the moves that you making, the moves that everybody making. So just dope to be able to kind of like catch up.
For sure, for sure. Now, Cush with the C, I need to start. Like, how did you get your name? Like, I mean, I have an idea, but where did you get the name from?
So it's probably like nothing like what you're thinking about. But so my actual last name has like Cush in it. And so and it is definitely with a C. But just whenever we were talking about how I wanted to do it, if I just wanted to go by Cush or how we wanted to do it, like me, my brother, my pops, like everybody just started having conversations. We know that Cush is like known for like weed or whatever, and it's with a K. So we just kind of decided that I would just go by Cush with a C, at least until, you know, I kind of get enough notoriety to where I could just go by Cush. Like I tell people all the time, like, if you think about like Boosie or like Jeezy or some of those guys, they started out as like Lil Boosie or Young Jeezy or something, but then eventually they just became that one singular name. Yeah. So definitely one of those things where like people, they get to know me and they just call me Cush, but to anybody else I say Cush with a C. That way, just when you tell somebody about me, they'll know how to spell it properly.
Word. I feel that. It's like, you know, Weezy F Baby, please say the baby, and Cush with a C, please say the C.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna tell you again.
Nah, for real, because some of those bars, like, even in one of my songs, I got a line and I say like, it's Cush with a C, not a K, you know, and people gravitated towards that. So me and my engineer were even talking about that, like, not forcing it, but like if it fits, if that bar comes to mind, anything to do with like Cush with a C, not a K, definitely kind of want to make sure people get that message, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And we can toast on that, man. We up on we at the Daiquiri spot, man. You already know. We can toast on that. Now, when did you know that, yo, I have this talent, I'm taking it seriously, I have a real skill in this and I'm gonna do it? Like, when did that happen for you?
So like before I could go there, I would have to like go back to kind of an earlier stage of my life.
Take it back, take it back.
Yeah, when I was like 15, I started making beats. So like my mom could tell you, like literally I was in my room and she would just hear me rapping like all day. She was like, when is he gonna stop? So, but I gave it up. So basically like through high school and I went to college, like I started doing all types of different things. And so probably the summer of 2018, I had a friend that was rapping. And he came to my house one day and he was like just telling me like, bro, I'll just be like on my MacBook, I just pull up YouTube, I download a beat and I just be doing what I do.
Yeah.
Not needing to like go to a studio or whatever. So I was like, shit, we can mess around and do something, you know? So literally we just like recorded one song. Then all of a sudden by like a month, we recorded like 7 songs. And then the tough part was he dipped out. So he moved to Toronto.
Oh, yeah. Damn. He dipped, for real.
And so But like by the time Black Friday of 2018 rolled around, I had written a lot of songs and I bought my own MacBook. And then basically for those next few months, I recorded what ended up being my first album. I did it all myself at my apartment, like in my closet.
Wait, balancing act?
Yeah, the balancing.
Shut up! What? That's an exclusive. This is an exclusive. That is crazy.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
to know what a great project that was, and we'll ask about it later. But that's amazing to hear. I mean,
Yeah. So, but I would definitely say that around that time of like early 2019 was when, you know, it started to feel like, hey man, this might work out. But definitely like the further we got into, you know, 2019, and then like by the time the beginning of 2020 rolled around, it was like, it was over. It was like, I'm doing it. You know, the decision is made. Like, it's just a matter of when, not if, you know,
Okay.
as far as just making it happen.
yeah. And I know you spoke on earlier how your family was even in on your name and stuff like that. So that is so dope that they were supporting you as well. So that was the case. They were supporting you through this time as well.
Facts, for sure. Like, I tell people all the time, my family has supported me in like all types of different shit that I wanted to do in life. Like, no matter what I wanted to do, they supported me. Even when it comes to like my music stuff, I don't really have like a formal team. Like, I don't have a manager or assistants or anything like that. It's just literally my older brother. I go to him and ask him like, hey fam, what you think about this?
Oh my
You know?
God.
So yeah, so shout out to Derek. That's my older brother. He definitely is like the de facto, like my go-to person for everything. If I make a new song, he the first person I send it to or whatever, you know?
That's real as fuck.
Like I said, my little brother is involved just in terms of giving me opinions on things.
Yeah.
My mom, my dad, like everybody is down. Even my grandma, when I left the house
I
today,
know you lying.
I told her like I'm coming to this interview. She's like, be great, Cush. You know,
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh,
so. Yeah, so it's definitely like a family affair when it comes to me. I'm a real family-oriented person. Even if you listen to my music, you're gonna end up hearing something about, you know, I was talking to my brother or something about my
you
granny.
do. Your
or-
sister or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, for sure.
So,
That is so dope, man. That's so awesome to hear because, you know, support just means everything. So I think that's really cool. Now, I had a question about, okay, so what is your ethnicity?
yeah, so my dad is black and my mom is white.
Oh, cool.
For sure,
Super
for
cool.
sure.
Have you ever, what is it like coming into the rap game? And you already know how sometimes they get real gatekeepery, I feel like. Have you ever felt any like, pushback because he's half this, half that, you know what I mean? Like those gatekeepers that are trying, or maybe he doesn't have all the credibility to be in hip hop or blah blah blah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, nah, I never really felt that, but also like I tell people like you're not really worried about gatekeepers when you're not looking for gates. Like, you're not looking for somebody to open the gate for you. You like, we finna mess around and build our own gate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or we trying to do something different. We're not even trying to enter the same lane that these people that have came before necessarily, you know? It's definitely people that have like paved the way. But I'm just saying with this whole Cush with a C thing, we think that like this may be something a little bit different than what's been done too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I really respect that answer. That is for sure. Like, I feel like more people should look at that in that same perspective. Like, yo, don't even look at them like that. You know, create your own lane.
But we do joke around. Like my brother will tell me, he'll be like, "Bro, you know you light skin, you got curls now. Like they gonna be coming at you." So, but I just feel like when it comes to the rap, like I'm not.
Play with somebody else. Play with somebody else.
So I'm down for like I actually welcome it. We're also like a real big sports family, so I think I definitely have just like a competitive nature within me. So even when I hear certain things, I'm like, what? Who said what? We rapping in that? You know? So yeah.
I really mess with that. That is really, really dope. And it comes out in your bars. You can hear that like battle, like, you know what I mean? Like fighting for that. So super duper dope. Now I also hear that you do shout out Dallas. You also shout out Garland. So how has Garland impacted you in your life? I mean, I know Allen beat y'all in a couple, you know, football games. We ain't gonna talk about that. But you know, anyway.
Yeah.
But how has Garland like affected you and impacted your life?
Nah, for sure. So shoot, like being from Garland, you know, I feel like people that aren't from there or whatever, or maybe even from different parts of Dallas, they might have like a certain connotation, you know? But it's just literally, like, I feel like I live like the average American childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like my shit wasn't like super bad. My shit wasn't like super good. It was just like the average American childhood, you know? Like I said, my family is like a phenomenal family though. I could for sure say that. And then just, I do feel like there's a little bit of a like chip on my shoulder because people kind of look at it like, oh, you're not from here, you're not from there, oh, you from Garland. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of talked about like that sometimes. So I feel like definitely as I continue to elevate, like I tell people, even when I go out the city, like, and I tell people like, oh, I'm from Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting on for the whole Metroplex. Like, in everything that I'm doing, it's not just about Garland. I'm actually putting on for Dallas. Even if there's people in Dallas that feel like, oh, you from Garland, you know? Like, it's just a bigger picture with everything. So I feel very like confident in that, you know what I'm saying? That like what I'm doing is for the right reasons, and it's for Garland, it's for Dallas, it's for the whole the state, the country, like whatever, like, you know, world gonna know my name. That's the whole point. It's the whole point. It's like, it's bigger. It's a bigger picture.
It is. And I love that mindset of just, yo, we just putting on, you know what I'm saying? Don't have to be this division for no reason, you know what I mean? Just stop it.
Yeah, and like another thing is just like, person like me, I was a person that, you know, I might have lived in Garland, but like I go and get my hair cut in Pleasant Grove, or like my granny has lived in Oak Cliff my whole life, or my other granny was in West Dallas. So it was dope because my dad, like, even though we lived in the suburbs, he never allowed us to like not see all the sides of this thing, you know what I mean? So definitely am always kind of like plugged in, and always even get opinions on my music from people that are from all types of different areas. So that way it's not like, oh, I'm good to be a dude from Garland. It's like, nah, I'll be going all over the city and the whole city, you know?
Yeah. So. Mad respect, all I can say. But it's just too good. But so, congratulations. I just want to definitely say congratulations on dropping your second project, Made. Nothing's Perfect. Yo, what, I mean, a list of dope songs, hits, baby. And so what was it like? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get into so much, but what was it like just overall creating that, and what was the motivation behind creating this project?
Yeah, so I would say this project was a little different because essentially I was working on it since I finished my last project. But the thing about it is I had probably like 3 or 4 different versions of that album in different names, all types of different ideas, all types of things. And COVID happened, and it kind of just shook everything up for me. Like around March, I probably had a project like ready to go. March 2020, I probably had like a project ready to go. But then it was like, I'm not finna drop with this COVID thing going on, everything. So low key, like for probably like 6 months, I didn't even go to the studio. I was just working. Like I'm just writing, you know, coming up with stuff. But I had met an engineer in like 2019. Her name is Zayla. And so we were in a session one time, and then we like went our separate ways, never talked again really, but you know, would like each other's posts or whatever, flame emoji, whatever. But one of my homies had invited me to a session at Zayla's house in like September 2020. And it was just, I don't know, it was like, it was a vibe. It was a vibe, and to the point to where I was like, it ended up working out where she only lives like 10 minutes from me. So I was like, we can probably make this work, you know? And so I went over there for a session with Congo Bones, who is on Dealing with Trauma, one of the songs on the project. And we ended up just locking in. We made like 4 songs that night. The next week we made like 4 more songs. And even out of those, like literally out of those first 2 sessions, it's like 3, 4, 5 songs that are on the project. So yeah, so then just over those next few months, probably by like November, we had finished it. You know what I'm saying? So just it's crazy because it had taken 18 months from Balancing Act to Nothing's Perfect, but it really only took 3 months to finish Nothing's Perfect for real. So, and there only ended up being 1 song from that original album I was saying was like done in March. Only 1 song like made it to the album. So the other 10 songs that were all brand new stuff that me and Zayla had did. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Wow, you was really putting in work creating those. I mean, and then I know one song had this skit on it. I don't know if it was Dealing with Drama that had like, it's like a poetic skit.
Yeah, Dealing with Trauma. Yeah.
I was like, yo, like, this is crazy. It it made me feel that album made me feel like it was just some real nigga shit. Okay, I'm sorry. There's no other place to put it. Real nigga shit. Okay, like you're just speaking on so many things. The police stuff that's been going on, losing people, you know, dealing with things that are happening in your own personal life. You know what I mean? Then you made me want to dance. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, what's going on? But you know, it was just so many emotions. It's a great project. Just congratulations.
No, I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you were saying, because one of the things I pride myself on is like versatility. So I never want to be a guy where you can kind of say like, yo, I'm gonna cut this song on and this like this is exact, like I want you to kind of not know exactly what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And also just as far as touching on like the different you know, police brutality and things of that, it was just in 2020, like I was literally like out there, you know, protesting or, you know, doing these different things, and also like I really lost people. Like it's just a lot of different things. So in my music, I always wanted to reflect life. You know what I'm saying? So I always, even if I didn't want it to, like when I go to write, it's gonna come out. Like writing is like therapy kind of. So that's, dealing with trauma was a dope one.
Yeah, and even with Halfway, I ain't gonna waste too much time speaking on everything, but it was just so freaking good. Now, I do have a question. I feel like artists, sometimes there's controversy when putting out your freshman album and then putting out a sophomore album. Was there any like self-doubt or like hesitation that you felt when putting out Nothing's Perfect, when you knew that people were going to be comparing it to Balancing Act?
Not really, because just to be honest, even at the time I put out Balancing Act, I kind of knew that I had like a lot of room to grow. Like I said, I knew at that time, like, man, I did this in my closet. Like there was so much different, there was a lot of different aspects that I knew I could get way better at. And I learned, like, that's another thing I tell people is like, one reason why Nothing's Perfect came out the way it did is because like I took a lot of time in between projects. So even the way that I work, like my whole process, everything is completely different than it used to be. So even like life stuff, like a lot of things have changed, you know? So definitely would just say like there wasn't necessarily like anxiety about that, because I felt like I took the time to where like we kind of knew like this is gonna be the best thing I put out so far, you know what I mean? But even then, like I would say now is kind of maybe where I get that feeling of like, okay, well what's next after Nothing's Perfect? Now that is kind of the feeling, because even from like a fan base standpoint, I've probably quadrupled the people that knew me when I dropped my first project to now, you know what I mean? So it's definitely different.
Well, you definitely have a huge like support group. Like people definitely F with you, man, like for sure. So what else I was thinking of was, okay, so let's take it back. So you're in 2020. Let me set the scene for y'all. Okay, it's 2020. We don't know what's going on. Things are crazy. But all of a sudden, it's you. It's Debbie. It's Cyrock. It's Coach Ted. Y'all come out with Freaknik. Baby, what in the world? Tell me the thought process of that, because that just looked like a good old time. Like just fun. Can you tell us about like that process of just working with them and what came about from that project?
Yeah, so it was probably one of the dopest experiences of my career so far, you know, for sure. A lot of people don't know, but we didn't even record that in Dallas. So we actually recorded that in Austin.
Well, I thought y'all were in Dallas.
So we were, so the video was in Austin. It was in Dallas, but but when we made the song and everything, it was in Austin. So we went to Austin with Vibes, Texas. And and we all just got like an Airbnb for like 3 days. So we were just in there making all type of music, you know. And it's crazy because I low-key think like Freaknik was the only song that even made it out of that whole weekend, and we probably did 20 songs. But yeah, it was cool because like Tev was just over there listening to a beat, and nephew, he's a photographer from out here. He was listening and he was like, "Cush, you gotta listen to this." So I went and listened, and then Tev like recorded a hook, and I was writing a verse. And then all of a sudden, Cyrock was like, "Let me get on that." Like I was like, "Damn, he took my shine." So he knocked out his, and then Debbie came. Debbie was like asleep somewhere.
Oh,
he walked in. He was like, "I'm finna get on there too." So I was like, that whole time I was writing. So I'm like, I got like 2 verses now. So that's why my verse ended up being so long, because I just like damn near combined 2 verses. But But yeah, it was super dope. And then coming back to the city, we shot that at Devi's release party for his last project. So definitely was a moment, you know, and it was dope that like that night was a moment, but then it connected with people, you know, whenever we put the video out. I think the look of it and everything. So yeah, I tell a lot of people they know me from that. Like a lot of people didn't know me before that, and they kind of found me after that. So shout out to Coach Tev, Devi Stone, South Rock. Craig Cody was the videographer for that too, so shout out to him. Was a special one.
It felt special. It's like, it's just, you wanted to be there, you know what I mean? Definite vibe. I loved it. You're welcome. And that year, I feel like 2020 was crazy, but you still had a lot of like good things that happened. Like you were featured in Genius. So like, how was that? Like you being on that platform, like what was that like?
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Getting your work recognized like that.
Once again, like I'm a student. You know, like I literally like study rap. Like I literally would like go look up Nas lyrics, and you know I was that type of kid. So definitely just to have a place where people that care about that type of stuff can go and look and see exactly what I was saying, and then me being able to like notate and say like here's what I really meant by that and shit like that. That's like super dope. I didn't necessarily think I'd be able to do that at the stage I started being able to do that at. So.
I mean, I feel like that's every artist's dream, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm someone that does that too. Like, I want to know what you meant. Like, what did you mean? And just seeing how I peeped that you did one of the like artists versus influencers, and I saw like your artists, you had J. Cole, The Game, you know what I mean? It's fabulous. Like, I was like, this man, hold on. Like, and these are like old The Game, old, you know, the soul tape, you know, fabulous. So it's just like, I definitely see where your influences come from in your music. So just hats off. That's just super dope.
Nah, appreciate it. Definitely, like everybody, no matter who they are, whether they're from like the West Coast, the East Coast, from down here, like they all MCs. Like I was studying MCs, so I'm not just like studying people that got like hits necessarily. I'm studying them too, but like they gotta be a MC basically. So that's what I pride myself on, is like really truly being like a rapper's rapper, you know what I'm saying? But then being able to sprinkle in those little, you know, Life with Shoes or whichever, you know, collaborations that kind of can serve different purposes. So.
Yeah, they can just ride, you know what I mean? Man, and like, what I also peeped is that the way that you move, I feel like it's super like collaborative. It's very much like, you know, I want to work with the people that want to work with me, that want to do something, you know what I mean? So what is it like, or do you have any tips for artists that don't really know how to move and don't know how to network in Dallas? How would you advise them to, you know, break out of their shell or just network so they can make these collaborations and get to the level that you are with notoriety and, you know, these platforms that...
Yeah, for sure. The biggest thing I would say is really just get out. You know, get out more, let people see you. Like, let people literally shake people's hands. Like, I know it's COVID right now, but, you know, bump fists or whatever you got to do. Because a lot of times, like, you talking to people through social media and all of that, but it could be 100 people hitting that person up a day. And, you know, and even through social media, you can see a picture, but you can't really get a feel for a person. So being able to go out and chop it up with people, and they might even be able to tell you something they got going on, something they working on. You can say, oh, you working on a project? I got beats. Or you working on a project? I got this. I want you on my project I'm working on, or whatever. So definitely most of the people, I would say like almost nobody I've collaborated with was like somebody I hadn't met in person first. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time, like, you gotta just go meet people. And the biggest thing I tell people, anybody that feels like they're not getting like recognition or notoriety, I tell them like, you gotta rap.
What you mean?
Like, you literally gotta rap. Like, you gotta perform. You gotta rap. You gotta sing. You gotta dance. Whatever you do, like, just keep doing that, because people be like feeling like they're not getting the recognition, but at the end of the day, it's like, is the work being put in for real?
Yeah. Are you really doing
you know?
what you need to be doing?
So,
yeah.
you could feel like, you know, I got something great inside of me, but you gotta put in that work to be able to match up what you feel. If people can't see it from like on paper, then it's like, it don't really matter how good you think you are, because we all think we're good. My brother be giving me a hard time. He's like, oh, y'all rappers, y'all think y'all the next Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Because it really, I think rappers just have a certain confidence where everybody thinks they like the next Jay-Z or something, but it's like, what the stats look like.
Facts. Yeah. Are you doing the Jay-Z, what Jay-Z did? Because Jay-Z put in work. Yeah. He really did. So
definitely.
Yeah, I appreciate that advice, and I hope y'all hear it too, because man, that's some real ish. You know what I mean? I love that. But let's go to a fan question. So I have a fan question that I feel like his name is Boulevard Trill, but it's like hyphenated Boulevard Trill. So shout out to you for the question. But what would be your top 5 Dallas artists, not including yourself?
That's an interesting one.
Like me, I said Charlotte, but that's just me. But go ahead.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. That's interesting. Since he said artists and didn't specify rappers, I definitely want to like shout out one person to begin with, which is LaVoice. She's like a super duper dope artist. Just in terms of like branding, the music, everything, and just once again, whenever you get out and you're able to meet these people and have conversations with them and everything. So shout out to LaVoice. She's like R&B, soul, whatever you want. Yeah. She can rap too, so shoot. But for sure, Coach Tev, he's like one of my guys. Once again, from Freaknik, definitely. I feel like once again, once we look at on paper, it's undisputable. Like he's been putting in the work. Definitely, man, it gets crazy. Like it's so many different. It's Debbie Stones, Breon. Like me and Breon.
What's that? Go give me the exclusive. What's that?
Me and Breon working. We work at the same studio now.
Oh, okay. What studio is that?
It's Supersonics, which is run by Zayla, who I mentioned earlier. But we working. Definitely. I mean, it's Scatino. It's Sincerely Esco. It's so many different Ricky Blue. Like it's so many different flavors. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where I think the more that we get into this and the better we all get, the more that kind of like we all are seeing like a collective vision. Bando, he's from Arlington. That's another dope thing, is that like it's not just people that are like technically from the city of Dallas or like one neighborhood. It's people from Louisiana that's pulling up. No ID pulling up. Debbie's from Louisiana. Bando and Esco are from Arlington. It's a kid named Nojo Wallace from Arlington. It's I'm from Garland. It's people from Carrollton. It's just
from Allen.
Yeah. Tev is from Irving. Like what I'm saying. So that's one of the dope things I'll say, just from like DFW as a whole. Some of my homies from Fort Worth, like everything. So I would say that's one of the dopest things, is just being able to see all of us grow collectively. Like I feel like it wouldn't feel the same if I felt like I was getting better, but I didn't feel like my peers were getting better too. Because I feel like we kind of need each other to push each other a little bit. So definitely, shout out to all the people. If I didn't name you, it's
still love.
It's still love. Definitely, like I said, just hella artists out there. So shout out to all them.
Man, you are so dope. I feel like you're so humble, but you do know that you are like you still have that fight. You know what I mean? That like here's that beast. Like, hey man, I mean I'm cool with y'all, but let me tell you, like I can still beat you in the rap battle. You know what I mean? But I really respect that, and I really respect your hustle, your grind. What are some upcoming projects that we can look forward to and that you're finna put out and things like that?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I know we've talked about it a couple times, but Nothing's Perfect is out right now. So definitely want people to, tap in with that and check that out still. But I am working on the next thing. I'm probably going to have an EP coming at some point in these next couple months. I don't know when this is dropping, but definitely coming soon. And maybe some collab projects, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some summertime.
We're going to be outside in a couple minutes, so come on.
Different things. So definitely just excited for what the year holds. I definitely kind of set a number in my head for like the number of tracks I want to release this year and the number of videos I want to release this year.
Yo, you have been on the video. Shout out to Esntl, aesthetics, because I've definitely been seeing the videos.
Yeah, for sure. That's the bro. We locked in. So it's just about like, I feel like me, I told people, I feel like I'm like real disciplined now. And like, I never really felt like a disciplined or like super organized person, but it seemed like, it's just like, here's what's got to happen. And it's happening. So it's just like, okay, we need to throw 250 at this, or we need to throw 250 over here. Hey, we need to save up 1,000 to get this done or whatever. And it's just like,
What's pushing that? Yeah. Where is that coming from? Where's that drive coming from? What do you feel like this change is coming from?
Man, I think it's just a collective like energy to say like, nah, we can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I can do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's a collective. It's not just me. It's the fact that when I call my brother and I sent him that new song last night, he's like, bro, the next EP gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then I sent it to Mo and he's like, bro, that one is different. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So it's the collective energy behind it all is just pushing me. Like I feel like whenever that any person does give me like that little bit of push, it's like if I felt like maybe I wasn't gonna go to the studio tonight, like I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's been quite a while since the last time I like didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Or I didn't, show up. Or if somebody hit me up, even like the Rap City thing, like they hit me up like an hour before that and was like, yo, can you make it?
You lying. Oh my God.
Yeah, so we had like a miscommunication or whatever, but still like that type of stuff and the way it came out and the impact it's having and things like that is just more of an example of like, I could have just been laying in the bed and I could have been like, nah, I don't really feel like it. Yeah. So definitely, something else too, this kind of off topic, but I work overnights. So I work like midnight to 8 a.m., like Wednesday to Sunday. So it kind of changes like the way I move compared to other people because other people working there in the day, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I try to get my little rest in real quick and then I'm like on the road, you know what I'm saying? I'm running around trying to get things accomplished before it's midnight again, you know what I'm saying? So even with performances and everything, like if I got a performance on Friday, like my set at 10, I'm gonna rock out, I'm gonna stay there till about 11:30 and then I'm going to work.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so for real, so I'm really out here.
You really out here. I feel like artists, if y'all ain't working like this, just cut it. Because this takes hard work and it shows. I want you to know that it freaking shows. And we're giving you flowers today because, man, you are really working out here and we see that. So, man, but thank you so much for coming. We definitely are going to keep a lookout for the things you have coming up, and we're definitely going to continue to listen to Nothing's Perfect because that thing is booming and banging. You feel me? But where else can we find you on your social media? Yeah, so all my social medias are Cush with a C _, and it's literally CUSHWITHAC_. So Cush with a C. And appreciate y'all for having me again. Appreciate everybody that's tapped into any of the projects I got out and everything. 2021, we just going crazier to set up for the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just a short-term thing. So we in it for the long term. Facts. Look out for my feature on his next track. It's nothing. You ain't even gotta ask. I already know. But of course, we also have a performance coming up from Cush with the C. So please stay tuned for that. Shout out to Rico Black LLC and Industry. Shout out to Esntl Aesthetics. Shout out to the Daiquiri Shop in Carrollton for providing this place for us. And man, we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.